Um, I'm good, but I'm not going to be able to talk too much directly because I want to do this as a YouTube video. So I'm just going to be talking to the camera. I'm not going to have time to really interact with people. So anyway, in this episode, I want to talk about my biggest scandal, if you want to call it that, in TikTok. So a little preface. So when I first came to Kenya, I was dating a lot of females. I was checking out, you know, I didn't want to really commit until unless there was something like that sparked. Anyway, so I was with a few females, and actually, my first TikTok account was when I got to Kenya. It was a girl that I was dating, and this TikTok account initially started out as Joanne Barney. She had the idea. I never had a TikTok account, and then I noticed how big TikTok is over here, bigger than Instagram. And I personally never liked Instagram anyway, so that's how my TikTok journey started. So at some point I get over 1,000 followers. And at that point I decided to, just try out the live thing, the live feature. And I kid you not, the first three lives that I ever had, I didn't know how to work with the live functions that you can mute comments, that you could block somebody. I thought if you wanted to block somebody, you have to, after ending the live, you could block that person. I didn't know you could do it in real time. So it took me a while to figure this out. So in the first three lives, I keep on seeing this name. I'm not going to say the person's name. Uh, an anonymous person. And let's say her name starts with an A. Just keep it simple. So person A keeps on coming on my lives saying I'm a cheater, saying I'm this, I'm that. So I was like, the first time I was like, who's that person A? Second live, I'm like, what the hell? What? Is that? I think that's the same girl from the first live that keeps on coming to my live. And then by the third time, I had company at that time, and this person, I'm not gonna mention her name. She knows everybody. All right, from Tindiani, Mombasa, and back. She knows everybody. So she told me who it was. I was like, oh. Meanwhile, before coming to Kenya, I was on Tinder to try to, have some connections at least with females, right? Um, so I was on Tinder at the time, and she actually had given me her number, and I just messaged her one time. I said, "Hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing?" And I was like, "I'm in Malindi." Like I kind of just rubbed her off. I never called her, contacted her ever again. Nothing. It's just like she gave me her number. I said, "Hey, this is Joey, whatever." So then after a while of her telling me who this person's name is, like it registered, I was like, hold up, let me see if I have that name sounds familiar. So I went, I searched on my iPhone and I put the person's name, and the person's name was on my contact list. I had completely forgotten that I even had sent one message. There was one day I sent a message. I was in Melinda, I wasn't even in Mombasa. And I was like, oh, I actually have this girl's number and she has mine. So I was like, what is the beef with this girl? I never even met her in person. Like, if she saw me in person at, in Nyali or in Mombasa somewhere, she saw me. I didn't notice her at all. And I'm not trying to be uh, mean or anything. Just, whatever. So then I start dating her sister. Like, we weren't dating, but I had met her once at Nyali Mall, on Nyali Mall, at City Mall in Nyali. And I was shooting a YouTube video, which is on YouTube. And I asked her sister if I could ask her a question. She was like, I know you. We've exchanged number. I didn't even recognize her sister to be honest with you either because I had so many females that give me her contacts through Tinder that it was hard for me to remember everybody, even if like a lot of them I never met. So then I I went on like two little dates. We got together twice, and the second time she came over my house, and I guess her sister, the original one that kept on coming to my live by the letter A, um, started going on live talking about me, saying that I had HIV, that I was taking nude photos and sending it to people. I mean, just really crazy stuff. Mind you, this person didn't even meet me in person. She's going on lives, not once, not twice, several times. And so it was it was very stressful because all of a sudden people believed what was being said on these lives. And I remember going to I couldn't even just watch the live. I would watch the live for maybe like a minute or two and I wouldn't watch it no more because the stuff that people were saying, it just disgusted me. So and I remember seeing like comments from people and without any exaggeration, at least 90%, I would say over 95%, but I'm just being very conservative here with the estimate. At least 90%. I would say over 95%. And the people didn't know me at all. So I'm like, who's this girl saying this? Oh, I know him. He da 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 on the comment section. So I mean, if it's not happening to you, you just go through the live and you're like, oh wow, all these people know him and they're saying this, this, and that. Because it's not happening to you, you're not going to click on the person's profile to see who this profile is. So to see if it's true or not what these people are saying. So I'm like, who the hell is this? So I would click on these people making comments. I had people from Qatar, living in Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Denmark, Germany. They're not even in Kenya. They're saying they know me on the live. It was crazy. So I had to go and take an HIV test live because I mean, it's one thing you say, I'm a cheater, I'm a this, I'm a that. But you know, when you start spreading a rumor of that magnitude, um, you know, and scaring people, because I had females then contacting me, is everything okay? When was the last time you got tested and all this kind of stuff? You know, I had to, you know, nip it in the bud. Like imagine you're placed in a position where you actually had to go live on TikTok and take an HIV test live. So it was very hectic, very crazy. And for months, a lot of people distanced, a lot of the females would distance themselves away from me because they were afraid to be seen with me because of gossip and all that stuff. And there were a few that didn't care, but the majority did. Um, so it was stressful. And then, you know, till this day, there are some females that do talk negatively about me. They don't know me. They've never met me in person. And I know, I see from the comments and all this stuff. But I mean, most of the damage that this person did, I would say most of it is gone. But it did take a long time. You know, it did take almost a year for uh, these these false rumors, these allegations. I mean, uh, for people to realize that they're not true, or at least question them, because this person hasn't only had an issue with me, has had issue with numerous people. I've heard she's had another issue with somebody else. She's been arrested already for doing exactly that, defamation of character. So, yeah, at the end of the day, you know, um, my girl was like, "Oh, there's people giving drugs in Nyali, specific kind of people," and I was like, "Listen, you got to know your sources." In TikTok, when people say X, Y, and Z, I take it like a grain of salt because people just start making stuff up, and the rumor just becomes a different entire beast. So, but anyway, it gets more interesting. So while this ordeal is going on, I didn't know that she was engaged with somebody. I don't know if she's still married. She ended up getting married in September. I think sometime like that. Around that time. So meanwhile, she's on Tinder. She gave me her phone number, and then she comes on my live saying that I'm the cheater. I'm not even engaged. She was engaged. I didn't know all this. So I ended up seeing her with her sister, and I it got really ugly, and I just kept on telling her. I made a big scene because I was really really mad. Uh, I was like, don't put your name on my mouth. Don't put my name on your mouth again, please. Anyway, that video uh, of the big scene, people recording, got posted on Instagram and all this kind of nonsense. Silly. So fast forward a few days or a week or two, I forget what it was. I catch up with her. We bump heads with her and her man. Now at the time, like I said, I didn't know she was engaged. So her man was like, "Oh, I passed by them, and after I passed, he said something. He raised his voice, said something to me in one of the supermarkets up here in Nyali. So I turned back. I was like, "What'd you say?" So I went up to him. I was like, he was like, "Oh, now I know who you are," like that. I was like, "You damn right, you know who I am. So whatever you got to do, you do it right here. Do it right now. You want to do it outside? Well, you could do it right now. You could do it right now inside. You could do it outside. You know who I am. So why you tell me I know who you are too? So if you know who I am, whatever you got to do, you do it right here, or you do it. We could do it outside. Exactly like that. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not trying to be a tough guy. I'm just saying exactly what happened. I swear on my mother. And he just kept quiet. So, but I regretted that because had I known at the time that she was on Tinder giving me her number, uh, I would have been like, dude, calm down. Listen, I would have been like, I'm not, if you want to fight over her, that's fine, but I'm not going to argue with you over her. Look, I got a number right here. I see the message. We message if I wanted to call her, I could have called her. She's on Tinder, bro. She's not worth it. If I known, but I didn't know. I only found out afterwards, maybe like a few days afterwards. So she got really lucky with that. Um, and so yeah, that was a scene. And then it just kept on going. Oh, and she kept on saying that I was sure because I didn't want I'm sorry, I gotta laugh. Uh that I was sore because I didn't want to get with she didn't want to get with me. I'm sorry. So I was like, say what? I was like, as a matter of fact, she had called me to argue with me before I had even met her in person. Imagine that. I'm like, how can somebody annoy somebody so much that doesn't talk about you and never met you in person? Like something is not right here. You either got issues or you got a crush on me. That's the only way I could think of. I mean, me, I'm not going to get upset over somebody, and I think most people too, cause all this drama if I never met them, unless I like them or something's not right up here, you know? So, um, I made a video. We kept on going back and forth. She kept on going lives, and I made a few videos about it on TikTok. And at that point, I really didn't care. Um, because the damage had done. So, and I know females, if they see a guy uh, dissing a woman on social media, they're gonna almost always they're gonna side with the woman because you females expect that a man is supposed to take emotional abuse or bullying. A human being is a human being, and if you're tarnishing somebody's name, I think regardless of race, age, sex, if you're putting false rumors about somebody, you should, that person has every right to defend themselves. And, it got to the point where people were thinking I started everything. I never started anything. I just defended myself. And once it got rolling, then if she did something, I did something better. And quite frankly, since I have a YouTube channel, for like the past 3 years, I had some good editing. So it was I already had the upper hand. Like I can make the fact that I know how to edit videos, I could make it look. It was easier for me to make it look bad than the other way around. Plus, when you're the victim and you're in the right night, heart, I knew I was never wrong. I never did anything wrong. If you're in the right, God would always show the truth, even if the truth isn't 100% out. I mean, with time, I've been witnessing that, people um, have been, coming around and not really paying attention to whatever rumors she was saying about me. So we were going back and forth, and it got to a point where I was like, because every time she would go live, I would get a slew. I mean, a bunch of negative, really nasty comments every time she would go live. I guess that would her little crew wouldn't feel empowered, and they would just come to my TikTok page and just start bombarding me with negative, really nasty. I mean, really nasty comments. One of them, I don't know if it came from her or somebody else, uh, about my daughter being impregnated at 15. That I was like, Another thing that happened, and this is so important, and I can't believe I forgot this part. This is where it really made a turning point for me, was my Tinder account got blocked. Uh, I forgot the other dating app. I was on like two or three dating apps. They all got blocked because all these girls just started reporting me. I don't know for what. Like the next day, the very next day, seriously, after the first live she did. But that's fine. I could do with that. What really bothered me was my WhatsApp number that I had for over 10 years was banned for no reason. And I was like, okay, now you me and my family. If there's an emergency and with my daughter and somebody can reach out to me, now you cross the line. I was like, that's it. No holds barred. No. Now it's war. Now you messed with my daughter. You messed communication line with my daughter. So I didn't have WhatsApp for like 2 days. I was like, that's it. You went overboard. That's it. And so that was really the turning point for me. I was like, I'm not going to turn the other cheek. Now you ask for war. Anybody that messes between me and my daughter's relationship, that's it. It's war. That's anybody, a guy, anybody. Anyway, so we were going back and forth, and it got to a point. I was like, you know what? These petty little girls, they don't know me, and they keep on coming to my comment section, just uh, so, making like really rude, nasty, uh, false rumors. Most of them, and I mean like overwhelmingly most of them, like well over 90%, if not more than 95%, didn't know me at all, never met me. Or if they saw me on the street, I didn't notice them. So I made a video and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go live, since every time you girls think you feel empowered, I'm gonna go live and give my side of the story. So I went live to Fishery, and that's a like a restaurant in Nyali, for those of you that are not from Mombasa or not from Kenya. So I went there and I did my live, because I lived like walking distance from that place. I would go there like 2 3 times a day to drink my espresso. So I was doing my live, and apparently the live didn't go as well as she thought on to her side, I guess. So she barges in into the to that place where I was at, Capisserie, starts screaming at me with some guy, as if trying to intimidate me, but I was ready for anything. Because, like I said, once that thing with the WhatsApp incident happened, I was ready for anything. It was all out war for me. So, um, only talking in Swahili. So I don't know what she was saying. She could have been saying I was like a pedophile or something. I don't know what the hell she was saying. Now I understand some Swahili. I probably could have picked up some of the stuff she was saying, but at the time I couldn't. Mind you, she knows how to speak English very well, but she's only talking Swahili just to try to make me look bad because she knows I couldn't understand and I couldn't defend myself. So meanwhile, she's making a big scene. Everybody's looking. And then I noticed that she was live. Once I saw that, I got so mad and I told her exact words. I was like, I'll give you $500 right now. And I was so mad that I screamed. So the entire restaurant heard. People in her life had to hear it. I said, you keep on saying that I want to get with you. Show me the proof. I'll give you $500 right now. There's an ATM machine, and there is. There's like four or five right next to where I was sitting. I was like, I will go to the machine. I'll give you $500 right now. And I kept on saying that. I said it like, I repeated myself like 3 or 4 times. And she just stood quiet. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. So then she kept on insisting that I get thrown out of professory as well. And then even people came. I remember there was one female. She was like, she was here on vacation, and apparently she had like scratched her rental car. Imagine. And she came and she was like, I'm sorry, you're the manager, but I don't think he did anything wrong. He was just sitting down, not causing any problems. She's the one that came here and disrupted the whole environment. Why are you trying to kick him out? So she was sitting there waiting. Uh, and then at the end of the day, she was the one that was forced to leave, not me. And then after that, I was told that while she was on her live, she was on calling me Kenya Kimbo, aka a broke white person who lives in Kenya, um, that she's going to get me deported. So apparently, in her mind, probably thought that she wanted to get me arrested for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know if she thought that I was here illegally or what. Under what grounds she could just get me arrested and deported because I didn't break the law. So, but apparently, from what I was told, she was on live. She kept on being on live, and then she kept on calling me. These people, the girls were actually laughing because she went to the police station like, "I'm gonna get this Kenya Kimbo out of the country. I'm gonna get him arrested. I'm gonna do this and that," and calling me broke. Yet she's driving in the Buddha Buddha down to the police station. If you're so high class, why don't you take a damn Uber? That's what the girls were saying, you know? So, I mean, man, that was rough. And then I think it was the final video or one of the last videos I really made. I could have offered $1 million if I wanted to because I already knew there's no way she could win. So I was like, I made a video and it's private now, but I offered her $500 within the next week to we go live and you prove that I was trying to get with you. I would give her $500 for that, and I would give you another 500 if we could take any STD test you want, live, you and me. And I'll give you another 500 if I have anything. And of course, she didn't reply because I also said if she had lost, if I didn't have any STD accounts, she would have to. If I didn't have any STDs, she would have to take down her Instagram account. And if she couldn't prove that I was trying to get with her, like she was claiming, that she would have to take down her TikTok account. So I could offer her $1 million. I know I didn't have any STDs, and I know for a fact I never tried to get with her. So I mean, and at the end of the day, she didn't reply to that either. I said you have a week to reply. We go live peacefully. I'll go peacefully as long as we keep it cool. On your part, on my part, I'll be cool because in my mind, I'm like, I know I can win this. I already know. I know I'm gonna win the bet. I know and I knew she would never take the bet because she knew she had no proof because it never happened. Me trying to get with her, and I know what I don't got health wise. So I was like, this is an easy bet for me, you know. and she'll be stupid to even try to take the bet. She's gonna look like a fool. So she never took the bet. So till this day, sometimes I see when I search on like Joey Jersey on TikTok, I see Joey Jersey and blah blah this person's name, or Joey Jersey scandal with blah 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 till this day. And I don't know, it's just crazy. I met somebody yesterday who she had an issue with, and there was I really didn't talk much about her because it's not worth it. But yeah, it was interesting. So that was a heck of a scandal, and um, for anybody that's not from Kenya, just know that TikTok rules in Kenya in terms of social media. Uh, Kenya is the number one country in terms of percentage users um, for TikTok in the world. So TikTok has a you know, somebody could damage your name uh, on TikTok. So you have to be careful if you're a foreigner, because they do have groups where they message about guys and being, if they're cheap, if they do this or whatever. It's easy for a rumor to start and just damage your name. So yeah, that was my story. And at some point, she just gave up because he just kept on looking like more and more like a fool, I guess. I don't know. So, and meanwhile, she had a case, a criminal case against her, which she ended up going to jail for doing exactly the same thing. So, yeah, that was my scandal. It was unfortunate for me. It was unfortunate for anybody that dated me and people found out, because you know they were like, "Oh, you went out with that guy." But yeah, that was it. Uh, so now let me turn this. I already said what I had to say, and until next time, love y'all.